Hello everyone, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program How Not to RP-1 Addendum. This is all footage that was recorded from our Twitch live broadcast in the weeks following Extra Life 2020, where we decided to push on and just see how much more effort it's going to take to get our very first spacecraft in orbit. If you remember at the end of the part 15 of How Not to RP-1, we were about to launch our 3,000 kilometer downrange mission, and here it is on the pad. And I guess I'll turn you over to Old Me to narrate this very historic launch in real time from live during the broadcast. So actually, I think we'll just use MechJeb. Yeah, 45 degrees, burned it, done, got it. All right. Well, throttle. Let's set that to full. 3, 2, 1. Hold on to your pants. Solid light. We're up. And let's just start leaning it over. Boom. As this thing gets going, I'm gonna trust MechJeb is gonna be able to hold pitch for us. This is the part I usually do manually. New, kinda. We started it last week. This is season 3 of How Not to RP-1. So yeah, if it looks like we're back in the Stone Age, then it's because we are. Blink, blink. How much runtime we got left? 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds, give or take, to get this nose down. Let's get a bit more aggressive with it. Yes, this will definitely be going to YouTube, but probably not for a couple of weeks. Pretty good job of staying on axis. That's prime RCS, prime RCS outside of the window. 40 degrees and hold. Bearings, both would be great. Oh, that was a hard hit. Oh, good. Let's stage this off and let's get angled back in. Yes, vapor and feed lines shut down. All right, get angled in, buddy. You good? You good? All right, let's bring up the contract so we can see how far downrange we are. 61 kilometers so far. That's cool. All right, engine's lit. We are free and away. Here we go. All right. Yeah, so I try to get everything I do on Twitch up to YouTube in some form or another, because I realize watching 3 to 4 hour long live stream recaps doesn't really work for everybody. Throwing stones into space. Fair. God, I know. They do have such crazy TWR sometimes. 21 Gs. We're doing good. What's our downrange? 135? We're at the 1. Alright, yeah, we absolutely blew past the 150 kilometer mark, and oh man, the visuals on this thing. Planet Shine might be screwing us up a little bit. Although, yeah, that's reflection of Earth, that's reflection of space, and that's just shiny. Hey, flame out, we got all the way through the burn. Sweet. 5,000 meters per second, that is not bad. We're gonna get some altitude records on this too, I think. So let's see what we bought. Duck Willies, hit Serious G's. Yeah. Yeah, the early TWRs. Come on. I think we, in our practice run, we just nailed it. Got 22 doohickeys complete. We hit a lot of records. We're going to go very, very high. Yeah, we're still, well, we're almost to our apogee. Not quite at the halfway mark. Come on, baby, you can do it. There it is, halfway mark. That doesn't mean we're a shoe-in. Part of that way down is through the atmosphere, where you will lose lots of ground covered, so we're going to have to wait it out. Did I bother to turn on the science things? Told her not to get her hopes up. This G's help with blood flow. I'll say, yeah, what kind of... We can put some pretty good sounding rocket payload on this. This might need to get redesigned. It was basically just copied over from our sounding rockets to save build time. But, oh, only like 200 more kilometers to go. Oh yeah, bingo. Done. Let's bring this out of time warp. Can we get access to our controller core? Yep, let's go ahead and blow this up. There it is. Range safety. Yes, no? Yes. Boom. Poof. Sweet. Alright. And with the 3,000 kilometer downrange contract complete and behind us, we can start prepping up for a few of the, I guess, more difficult sounding rocket contracts. We do have a lot of completed contracts that we knocked off with that one, including altitude and speed records galore, which gave us a nice big chunk of money. So we're going to go in here and take a look at some of our available contracts, but I think first we'll see what we've got coming up. I did bounce around quite a bit because, well, I have no idea what I'm doing, but the experimental rocket planes contracts I think are still within the realm of what our little X405 can accomplish. We don't have the Mark II cockpit for some reason, so we're kind of limited to things that are under 30 kilometers. So with the low space bio return contract accepted and a X-Planes contract, we're going to start modifying our existing sounding rocket big boy booster film returner, which this will obviously not be a film returner, but I figure one of these 3 biological samples has to be able to complete the contract, right? Turns out it doesn't check off the box here in the VAB, but it will show up on the launch pad, and we did run a very quick simulation of this, but it also turns out that we need some sounding rocket payload. So we will just kind of experiment with our tank types to see what kind of volume we can get at, and if separate tanks, or steel high pressure, or aluminum high pressure, I'm sorry, is better than service module. Turns out one of them is decidedly lighter than the other, but yeah, I think we have to go back to steel high pressure to get sounding payload, which is in fact a thing. We'll just compare that weight type here, and yeah, it looks like we need service module if we're going to do nav payload or weathersat payload, but sounding payload we can keep in a steel tank, which is okay-ish, but service module does have better weight, although it takes a lot longer to build. So we'll get this bio returner in the build queue before we jump out to launch another X405 flight. This one I think is just a speed run. Yeah, we have to hold altitude in between 11,850 and 13,850, speed between 415 and 615 meters per second for 3 minutes. So we will burn up the altitude at full bore and then roll that throttle all the way back as far as we can, just enough to maintain our speed near the minimum end. Bob Kerman at the controls for this flight, and instead of starting way too far out like we did with some certain flights, we actually started way too close in, and having to maintain this burn and speed for 3 minutes really necessitates that we stay at the very bottom end of the throttle. So we'll just check to see if there's anything else, I don't know, record-wise that we could try to pull off during this flight, and I think we're just going to play it straight and level and see if we can't keep these things running for the full duration of this test. There it is. So Bob, wanting to celebrate, will yag back on the stick a little bit before performing a rather dangerous, almost supersonic Immelman turn to lose altitude, drain off some speed, and get himself set up for a runway approach back at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. And there it is, coming into view, that debris off there. Of course, the remains of his good buddy, I think that was Bill. Yeah, it was definitely Bill who died out there. We just haven't sent anybody out to collect the scrap metal. I guess it's a couple of Kerbucks worth, so maybe we should take care of that. A couple of braking S-turns as we approach the runway. This is all standard procedure to bleed off speed because we don't have air brakes. Gear is down and locked as we decide to bleed off a little more speed on final approach. Probably not the best idea. And Eventually we'll get a touchdown and a drag chute as the end of the runway. But that's okay. We parked in the berm. Everyone's okay. No fatalities. A couple of contracts completed in the books, and so we will spend this money buying some R&D points and increasing our build times as well as our research speeds before we determine what we need to do. Satellite era materials science has been listed to me as the absolute necessity, but I think in order to hit orbit, we're going to need the next step up in engine technology, as well as satellite era materials science is how you get the first scientific and a bunch of those cool bring stuff to orbit contracts. So we'll spend a bunch more points, put them into the VAB and into the R&D center. Maybe one more in the spaceplane hangar, just for good measure. If we can turn around those turnaround times a little bit, it would make things go just a little bit faster. We still are in 1952, so despite my bumbling and screwing a bunch of stuff up and doing this very wrongly, we're actually making pretty good pace to hit orbit before historical records. But we have our first biosample launcher, so I will turn you over to old me live during the broadcast. Yeah, let's clear out our contracts. So we did already, vessel complete. Cool. Yeah, 75. Yep, okay. We just got to get to 120. We know we can do it. SAS is on. Throttle is set to full. Ignition. Clamps. Always launching the sunrise for bonus cinematic points. Oh, no, you... Engine failure. Maybe I should have just popped the chutes with the full booster, but I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have worked out very well. Agathorn strikes again, so we'll just kind of speed through this descent. We were able to recover the very expensive avionics and our satellite payload very nicely. A couple bits of debris, but we'll have to rebuild that whole rocket and try again sometime in the future. I think we've got plenty of time to figure that out. But we'll get on to our very next X-Planes contract flight, in which Val is going to take the controls and try to set a few records. So I'll turn you back over to old me. Grathen, how's it going? Gear up. Ammo auto engaged. Oh, okay, so throttle set to full. Oh, hey, yes, engine's already lit. Cool. Climb, buddy, climb. How's it going, Grathen? Good to see you. Let me bring out the situation here for my contract. Between 12.4 and 14.5. And we have to get to 560 meters per second. This is going to be trying. Please, no engine outs. Alright, first thing first. Get above 12.475. Done. Build speed. Stay below 14. Okay, 560 meter per second. Ooh. We might have stepped out of our depth on this one. Yeah, probably. I don't think I actually set the ailerons to only actually be ailerons. I keep meaning to do that, but then forget. Alright, roll that throttle as far back as we can to maintain speed. There it is. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. Switching to fine control. We have to stay above 12.4, so let's try to keep it right above 13. God, fine control is so slow. I know, I'm sorry. I am terrible about, like, detail management sometimes. It's done some funky stuff in the past. Yeah, like, why does that tank not have any... I can only assume that there was a extra lock strain from something else. Yeah, 580, speed is good. Still another 2 minutes to go. Oh boy. Imagine pre-configuring control surfaces. I should. These need to be ailerons. These need to be just elevators. Like, oh, we're getting too high. Come on. Let's pin it right at 13, please. How are we looking? 1 minute 35. I don't know if we have the fuel for this. We might have to build a separate aircraft for this. Yeah, we're running out of fuel. We got another minute 24 left on this. Let's roll the throttle back even more. We can afford to bleed a little bit of speed. We have to stay above 560. Come on, a minute left. I don't think we're going to get it. What's our altitude? 20 click? We can go for it if we fail this. Just yank back on the stick. Come on, sweetie. What do you got? 45 seconds? No, not going to happen. We got like 4 seconds of runtime on this. Oomph. And we're below speed threshold. So, can we push it up to 20? Install. So did all of our tanks empty out? Yeah, it does look that way. Let's come out of fine control. We don't need that so much anymore. Hey, look, we're gonna hit 20 kilometers. Winning! It's a rocket if you squint. But a version of this rocket using a pump-fed config with upgraded non-high pressure tanks would work. And let's get out of this attitude before we crash, burn, and die. Let's get some speed built up here. We can get this back to the runway on the lift. Alright, come on, Val. You're an ace. Let's do this. You can bring us home. It'll be fine. You know, get some air into those wings. Yeah, perfect. Oh, crash site. Sad face. Alright, brilliant. We're good. Let's bring it home, hopefully. Optimal high-speed, low-drag flight profile. I'm saying this has just enough wing to make it a really good glider. Because if I can't glide for long distances, I'm never, ever, ever going to hit a runway ever. I mean, not that it really increases my chances by a whole lot, but it certainly helps. Dang it, of course, now I have to look at my phone, so... Cool. Burb. Alright, Scorpio. Yeah, we're high and fast, so we're gonna have to lead off a lot of speed glidings for news. Just get up on the runway and fly straight down. Just, you know, gently. Val has not had her daily dose of G-loading. Yeah, still very high and fast. Do a loop right above the ground and then drop straight down onto your wheels. I mean, if it works, right? Alright, let's get the gear down. Heavily assisted full vectored afterburner. There, that should be kind of slow enough to make this a thing. I guess we'll find out. We're going to use 99.957% of the runway. Well, maybe more. Borked this touchdown twice again. Do it. Put it on the ground, Val. Thank you. Brakes, brakes. Oh, no, not! Well, that came to an abrupt stop. I hit G instead of B because I wasn't looking. Landing gear. Val apparently did. F in chat for Val. We can rebuild her. We have the technology. Oh my god. Don't read chat until after you've pressed the brakes. Crash. This is... fuck me. Space Center. And unfortunately, that's where we're going to have to call this one an episode. Thank you so much for hanging out, everyone. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one. So, until then, see you later.